Hi friends, just wanted to take a moment of your time, not long I promise, but I did want to encourage you with a word that the Lord has been working through and in us here recently. We've actually been walking with several people that have been deeply hurt, especially by those in leadership. And maybe that's something that you have personally experienced, or maybe this is something that someone close to you has experienced. And obviously, when that happens, it's almost natural to begin carrying that with them, right? Sometimes we say, well, I'm just going to pray about it. But if we're really honest, what we mean is that we're talking to God about how wrong it was, what happened, right? It is very easy for us in our humanity to start rehearsing the situation, to start processing the frustration. And really what we end up doing is we try to make sense of what should not have happened. And while God does invite us to bring things to Him, there is a difference between bringing something to Him and partnering with Him, okay? Because the truth is, we don't always know the full story. We don't always know what someone else is carrying or what led for that to have happened. Actually, scripture reminds us in Hebrews 12:15 that we really need to be careful that no root of bitterness grows up and causes trouble, right? Because it defiles many, it actually spreads. And that's actually what can happen, not just when we are hurt, but when we pick up someone else's offense, okay? We begin to carry something that was not ours to carry. And over time, it can shape the way that we see people. It can shape the way that we speak. It can even shape the way that we relate to God if we're not careful. So instead of saying, well, I'll just pray about it, how about we say, I'm choosing to pray for them. Yes, definitely. Pray for those who have been hurt, but also pray for those who have hurt others, right? That have caused the hurt. Because the truth is that if someone is wounding others, something is already broken. Something is already misaligned within them. And so what if instead of rehearsing what happened, we ask Jesus, would you meet them? Would you visit them? Would you speak to them in a way that brings clarity to them? Would you affirm what they have been called to and realign anything that has maybe been off? Friends, that is intercession. That's what we want to get to. We stand in the gap, not just simple prayers. So I pray for so-and-so and I pray for so-and-so. No, friends, we get to stand in the gap for our brothers and sisters. And so anyways, just wanted to give you that word of encouragement to stand in the gap, to guard your heart, because we also want to intercede for us, right? For our heart. We can actually ask the Lord to, hey, please don't let this take root in me. Please help offense just wash off. Don't let me shape the way that I see others. Father, keep my heart clean. Keep me walking in closeness with you. Because the goal, friends, is not for us to respond correctly outwardly. Really, the goal is to remain undefiled inwardly. Again, just a reminder, we don't have to carry what is not ours, period, right? We don't have to carry the offense that we hear or that we read about. But we can choose to be people that intercede. We can actually choose to pray with clarity and with power. We can choose to pray with compassion and with trust that God is able to meet people right where they are. How about we be those people?